For over a century, people have dreamed of raising the Titanic. It's already too late. Not long after the wreck was discovered, people began sketching bold plans to bring it back. Newspapers imagined giant balloons attached to the hull. Others proposed pumping it full of wax, or even freezing the entire ship inside a massive block of ice so it could float to the surface. These ideas sound clever, but they collapse the moment you look at where the Titanic actually is and what's happened to it since 1912. The wreck lies about 3.5 kilometers down in the North Atlantic. That's nearly 4,000 meters beneath the surface, in total darkness just above freezing. At that depth, the pressure is crushing. Every square inch of the wreck is squeezed by hundreds of times the air pressure we feel at sea level. It's like stacking the weight of dozens of cars onto an area the size of your palm. Any equipment sent down there has to survive that force, work remotely, and operate in currents you can't even see. Then there's the idea of lifting the ship. People often picture the Titanic sitting upright like a museum exhibit waiting to be recovered. That's not what's down there. The ship didn't sink in one piece. As it went under, it tore in half. The bow and stern slammed into the seabed separately and now rest hundreds of meters apart with a wide debris field between them. Plates, furniture, machinery, and personal items are scattered across the ocean floor. There isn't a single object to raise. There are broken remains spread over a large area. Even if you chose just one section, the problems only get worse. The Titanic is no longer solid in the way a ship needs to be lifted. Over more than 100 years, the steel has been eaten away by iron-consuming microbes. These organisms form long, orange formations called rusticles, which hang from railings and beams like dripping icicles. They aren't just surface rust, they're actively consuming the metal, turning once thick steel into thin, brittle shells. Submersible footage shows how fragile the wreck has become. Railings sag, deck edges crumble. In some places, the metal holds its shape but has almost no strength left. Touch it the wrong way and it collapses. A robotic arm brushing against a structure can cause it to break apart. Now imagine attaching cables or lifting frames and pulling upward with thousands of tons of force. There's nowhere strong enough to grab. Any large section would likely tear itself apart as soon as it was lifted. Buoyancy tricks don't fix this. Balloons, foam, or air-filled bags still need to be attached to something solid. Filling the ship with anything assumes the hull is sealed, which it isn't. Huge sections are open, collapsed, or missing entirely. And none of these ideas change the basic fact that the structure can't support its own weight anymore, let alone the stresses of rising through kilometers of water. Even in the impossible scenario where part of the wreck reached the surface, the damage wouldn't stop. Waves and storms would batter it. Exposure to air would accelerate corrosion unless massive conservation efforts began immediately. Preserving a fragile artifact is hard enough in a lab. Preserving a crumbling ship while lifting it from the ocean is another matter entirely. There's also a reason many believe it shouldn't be raised at all. Around 1,500 people died when the Titanic sank. The wreck is widely regarded as a maritime grave. Over time, the focus has shifted away from recovery and toward documentation and respect. Modern expeditions use robotic vehicles to map the site, photograph it in ghostly light, and learn what they can without disturbing it. The Titanic won't be raised. The ocean is quietly reclaiming it instead.